board to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I thank everyone for their attendance. The minutes can reflect the roll call of the various trustees and staff. Let's move on to item 3. I entertain a motion for the approval of the 9/16 Village Board meeting minutes and the file the 8/19 Finance Committee, 8/21 Park and Rec Board, 8/27 Plan Commission, and the 9/4 Police and Fire Commission meeting minutes as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. As always, comments, questions, clarifications on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Let's move on to item 4. Anybody in the audience wishing to be heard on a non-agenda item? Non-agenda. Let's move forward. Item 5, business presented by the president. It is with my deepest regrets that I announce that Trustee Gassert is in attendance of his last village board meeting. He decided to vacate the community, move a block. However, that puts him in the town. So anything you wish to say to the board or the public?
I would like to, first of all, thank the public for their trust that they put in me last spring for my election, and also to thank all the village board members for their support during my, although short time on the board itself, but for all the support they gave me during my years with the CDA. Thank you.
Thank you. Is it an action item? I don't see anything on there. Okay. All right, let's move on to item B. And item B is a motion to direct staff to prepare December 2019 appointment process in accordance with the adopted resolution and to include updated interview questions. It's consistent with how we've filled open positions in the past. Your thought process?
Absolutely. So with Trustee Gassert's pending vacation of the seat, Trustee Gassert's, that particular seat's term runs through April 2021. So with that, the village board has 3 options available to them to fill this pending vacancy. I'll start with the least viable, in my opinion, in that leaving the seat vacant for 18 months for the remainder of the term. I don't think that would be advisable for various reasons. Option 2 would be to place the seat on the 2020 ballot. In essence, this is a special election, so to speak, but it is made part of the regular spring election. It wouldn't be a standalone date. It would be a separate and distinct section on the ballot. We spoke with the county about this, and what we would have on the spring ballot would be the customary seats, the 2-year terms that are up, and the candidates for those seats, but then a separate and distinct section for candidates running specifically for the vacant seat, which would be a 1-year term, and then they would have to rerun the following year. That would be the second option. And then the final option, what has been carried out over the last handful of vacancies that have come up, dating back to 2007, would be the appointment process, which is established by resolution. So that is all in place should the village board choose to move that direction. That said, considering the heavy agendas and being ankle deep into the budget process, I would look to recommend a appointment process with the interviews being held in December following the adoption of the budget. But that said, we would look to gather applicants and advertise the position actively between now and then. So that is the request that I've brought forward to the board.
Okay, I'll entertain that motion.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Comments, questions?
I have a question. So would we do that at the first Monday of the month then, December 2nd?
Yes, we would schedule the interviews for that first meeting in December, yes.
Okay.
Motion is second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. And move on to item 6, resolutions, ordinance, action items. Item A is resolution commending Police Captain Gabrish, Joseph Gabrish, on his retirement and years of service to the village of Grafton. Captain Gabrish could not be here tonight. We do have a resolution. I will just read the first and last paragraph. Whereas Joseph T. Gabrish is retiring from the Village of Grafton employment on October 10th, 2019, after having diligently served the people of the Village of Grafton and the community. And whereas Joe began his employment with Grafton Police Department on August 30th of 1993. Be it therefore resolved that the village board and the village staff of the Village of Grafton do hereby wish Joe the very best on his retirement and all his future endeavors. So we will make a point of presenting that to Captain. That is a resolution that takes an offer motion in a second.
I'll offer.
Motion.
Second.
Offer motion in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That resolution passes.
Can I just say, I would be happy to take that to Captain Gabrish. I get to go to the police department tomorrow. Anyway,
Or we could do that from the public safety perspective?
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, thank you.
All right, for the finance, we have one item, a motion to approve the 2020-2024 inspection services contract with the Village of Saukville as presented to be approved.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Item C, report of Park and Rec, one item, and that's the motion to award the bike and pedestrian path project at Centennial Park to the Rocky County Highway Department for the amount of $6,344.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion is second, and this is the bike path around Centennial, and gosh, it needs it. It needs it sooner rather than later.
Yes, it just got away from us as a project in-house, and this is the way to just complete
Yep. Good. Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Let's move on to item D. Report of the Plan Commission, and that's an ordinance amending the Village of Grafton zoning ordinance, section 19030802, detailed standards for accessory uses in residential districts. Subsection C.1, related to setbacks for detached garages, be approved.
Make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, basically for garages that have non-conforming setbacks, mostly in the avenues, that those footprints be grandfathered in as basically conforming. Motion and second, any questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Let's move on to departments and officers' reports. We do have some representation from various departments. Any questions for them? Anything you wish to pass back to the board?
I have nothing from
Any questions?
I'd like to congratulate Chief on his appointment
Thank you.
as interim chief.
Good luck. Congrats. You'll do great.
Thanks.
All right, let's move on to item 8, licenses. We have 3 individuals and their places of employment. I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Let's move on to item 9, report of the bills. Entertain a motion for the approval of village expenditures, $897,347.04.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
There you go. Motion is second. Comments, questions on the bills? I know some detail has been sent out. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Item 10, entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
One last time, John, it's all yours. Take it home.
I'll second.
Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed.
We are all. All right. We are good. Congratulations. Thank you very much, sir.